Our next guest is a key contributor to the Notre Dame women's lacrosse team, the athletic department as a whole, and the community around Notre Dame as well. Katherine McManus is a senior defender for the women's lacrosse team, is the president of the Notre Dame Student Athlete Advisory Council, and is also involved in numerous community service activities like Relay for Life. Last May, McManus received the Yeardley Reynolds Love Unsung Hero Award, given on a national basis to the men's and women's lacrosse players who best demonstrate dedication, integrity, humility, hard work, community service, leadership, kindness, and sportsmanship. We are delighted to welcome Katherine to this week's Jack Swarbrick Show.
Katherine, thanks for being with us. It's great to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
A little out of season, right? I mean,
Yes.
it's spring sport, but the reason I was eager to get you on, in addition, I wanted to talk about the Yeardley Reynolds Love Award, but we also have on the show today guests that's focused on athlete performance and helping us do the best we can. SAC plays an important role in another aspect of our student athlete life here, which is leadership development,
Yes.
community service, sort of creating a collegiality among our student athletes, which is really, really key to what we do. Tell us what it's like to be the president of SAC, what your agenda is, the things you're focused on in really the honor of having your peers elect you to lead that group.
Yeah, I'm really honored. I'm really excited for this year. So after last year ended, I was already thinking right away, what can we do to make this year better? How can we build off like kind of the coattails of last year? And one thing I really wanted to work on this year was clarity and really defining what SAC is, because it's kind of a mixed bag of things. Whatever student athletes are passionate about each year, we really try to make their passion a reality. And so this year we kind of focused on, we call it the 5 C's of SAC this year. So SAC basically focuses on community, camaraderie, character, communication, and there's one more. I'm forgetting it right now. That's why I have my notes. Career.
God,
right.
you got it.
So community would be like community service and everything like that. So that's the Notre Dame community and then the community at large. And then camaraderie we build through Irish on 3, the forums we do with getting other kids out to different sports, and then also getting just each other to know each other on and off the field. And then career, we do it through Monogram Club. That's really awesome, that network we have. Communication, you as your SAC rep, you are that liaison between what happens in that SAC room and what happens on your team, and that goes both ways. And then obviously character, just every day, who you are and how you represent this school.
That's incredible that you've led this initiative, because as I'm also an athlete, and it's got to be so difficult to find the time to do all of these things for SAC, and you're the president, and I talked to Corey Robinson, who's also, I know,
Yeah.
Your right-hand man over there,
Yeah.
Really just about how much time you spent on it. Where did you kind of have your inspiration to just be that person for all the rest of us that, you're such an instrumental part of our experience here at Notre Dame, and you're making it so much better for us. So thank you first, but how did you, why did you decide to do this?
Thank you. I think it sort of fell into my lap, I guess. I've always wanted to be a part of leadership development, and something I've always believed in, like the holistic experience of Notre Dame. And I love that athletics is such a great platform to reach a bunch of other people that I normally wouldn't. So I kind of use athletics to propel me forward to reach other communities. And so last year with community service, it was just an awesome year. It kind of exploded with the Habitat Project, and then we really built off what we did with Fight for Life, and we really made it more of a personal connection. And I think that was awesome. And what makes it so special for me is that the student athletes who are involved in SAC, I know it may look like I do a lot, but it's really what they do that makes me be able to kind of have the success I do as this figurehead. So it's really not my efforts, but everyone else's around me.
Well, they contribute a lot, but
I don't know, the humility thing. You're working hard on it, but
I'm close enough to this to know you're no figurehead. You're working awfully hard to do that. The Yeardley Reynolds Love Award, really amazing. I mean, a tragic story of her death, and I think most people know it. But it captured a lot of her values and characteristics in this award. You must have been awfully honored to receive that.
Absolutely, it was a really, really special honor. And
how'd you find out?
So I got an email from the One Love Foundation saying that I had been nominated, and I'm really thankful for my coaches and for everyone who nominated me for this award. I just didn't even think I'd be in the running for it. And then week by week, I think towards the end of April and May, they started to release finalists, and I think I was one of the last finalists released. And so I read everyone's stories, all the girls and all the males, about what they've done and the impact they've had on their teammates and their peers. And I was just in an incredible group of people. So it was such an honor to just know what they've done. And it's really grounding and humbling to be around and like all those people. So it's cool.
Well, I can't imagine a more deserving recipient. I have some awareness of all the things you've done for other people here and in the community, but one in particular that I hope our listeners and viewers have learned a little bit about through our videos, and that's your boyfriend Bobby.
Yes.
For people who may not know, could you tell a little bit of the story about your relationship with Bobby?
Yeah. So Bobby is now 7 years old. He likes to say 7.5. He's getting there. And I met him when he was 4.5, and it was my sophomore year of college. And he is battling non-Hodgkin's B-cell lymphoma. He was diagnosed when he was, I think, 2 or 3 years old. So he's been battling it for more than half his life at this point. And he's just he's just a rock star, basically. The first day I met him, I knew there was something special about him. And he's that kind of person that draws you in. So I knew that I wanted to get to know him, wanted to spend more time with him. And then it must have been luck or faith, I don't know, but our schedules worked out perfectly where I didn't have class on Thursday morning, so I was able to go to his treatment. So I would go once a month or whenever he was going in for spinal taps or chemotherapy and just hang out with him. And I think it was a great experience. It kind of gave him camaraderie, someone to be with him, and then also took some stress off of his parents. So I built a really good relationship with Bobby himself, but also his family, which has been really nice. And he's now really, really healthy. He's growing. We went bowling a couple weeks ago, and he still beats me, but he plays with bumpers, and I don't.
Of course.
But he's just so special, and I'm really happy he's in my life. I'm a little sad this year because we're trying to figure the transition after I start to leave college. How do I stay involved in his life, and how do I make sure I keep this connection going with him?
So you're saying it's essentially the same conversation all of the other couples are having at this point, right?
I'm just having it with a 7-year-old.
Senior year to now you're moving into the professional world. Bobby doesn't know how he's going to fit. You don't know how he's going to fit.
Sounds like you've been practicing this conversation.
I don't know. I mean, personally, I haven't had this problem, so I'm just saying I've seen a lot of my friends, and if you need any advice, obviously I struggle with mental health, and you're doing your senior thesis on mental health, so you're probably diagnosing me as we speak.
Maybe
with all of my problems that I just air it on the air here. Can you talk a little bit about your senior thesis on mental health and really what you're going into with that? I don't know.
Yeah, so I'm really excited. It's kind of taken me a while through my years at Notre Dame to figure out really what I want to do. And I think through all the steps I've taken in working with athletes through SAC, I've really found my niche. And I'm really excited. I focus on identity mostly, so student-athlete identity, that perfectionism, that drive to succeed, and how we look at failure, and then the way we look at locus of control. So when bad things happen, do we blame ourselves or do we blame the world? And so I'm kind of looking at that, and I'm looking at subthreshold anxiety and depression, and how do we give student-athletes another resource to really make sure that day-to-day they're really happy and that they're focused and they have a strong sense of self so that they can keep going forward. And I think this is a huge impact, I think, with injury prevention. Once injuries happen, you're removed from your team, you're losing muscle. So that part of identity of you being an athlete, that's kind of, it takes a hit. So how do we help you cope? How do we give those strategies? Also in high school, I think at Notre Dame, we recruit top athletes. So if you come in and you're a starter and you're a superstar, and then you struggle a little bit as a freshman or as a sophomore and your confidence gets knocked, how do we help you have good strategies when your coping strategy used to be when you go out and practice and school kids in high school, when it becomes another area of stress for you at Notre Dame? Like, how do we keep you healthy and balanced? So that's kind of my goal and my passion for it, and I hope that I'll find some good results. I'm serving Notre Dame student athletes, and I'm hoping people will answer it, and then I'm also going to look at Notre Dame students and get some of their results so I can do a comparative analysis and see what is it that what are the stressors that student athletes have that's different and isolates them as a different population than students here at Notre Dame?
Sounds like we need to hire you, Jack.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just saying right here.
No question. And, I'm so excited at the prospects of your first gift to the university, helping to underwrite that.
I've got $7 in my wallet, and
I'll take it.
Underwriting your position as we speak.
With her focus on the mental health of our athletes, and Paul Winsper on the physical preparation, man, we got this thing nailed.
I was going to say, I think you've done a pretty good job.
This show had a theme, and I didn't even know.
The physical and mental health of our athletes, and boom, we're done.
Yeah. I don't want to let you go without, although we're not in season, how's my lacrosse team going to be?
I think we're going to be awesome. We just had an amazing weekend in Maryland. It was really fun. We got to compete against some of the top teams, which is really exciting to have that experience early on in the fall. We have a lot we have to work on. We're focusing on the basics, the little things, just details, but we're returning a lot. Youth will no longer be an excuse for us, and we're really excited about that. We have great leadership. We're really top heavy. We have 20 upperclassmen, juniors and seniors, with a fifth year with Barbara Sullivan. So we're returning a lot of talent. And then our younger kids, they are just amazing followers. So they're going to turn into great leaders. And I'm just really excited. It's been a lot of fun.
Oh, that is exciting. I know you got out of the tournament on a tough game last year.
Yeah, we still have a chip on our shoulder with that one.
But I share your excitement. I think Chris has got the program built now in the way she wants, and as you say, got some great veteran leadership mixed with youth, and that's great. But they've also got great leadership in you and the leadership you provide to all our student athletes, and I know on that team. And we are awfully lucky to have you here, and thanks so much for joining us on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.